What if I told you the most dangerous team at this World Cup is not Argentina, not France, and not Brazil? What if the team most likely to cause the biggest upset of the entire tournament is already in the draw, already ranked 8th in the world, already reigning African champions, and almost nobody outside of Africa is talking about them? I have gone through the data, I have watched the qualifying campaign, and I am going on record right now, before this tournament kicks off. Morocco are not here to make up the numbers. They are here to make history. Again, here is what makes this conversation urgent. Morocco are in Group C. Their first game, June 13th, is against Brazil, 5-time world champions, the most successful nation in World Cup history. Every preview I have read treats that as a problem for Morocco. I think they are reading it backwards. In 2022, Morocco beat Belgium, ranked 2nd in the world at the time, in their group. They beat Spain on penalties in the round of 16. They beat Portugal in the quarterfinals. They did not lose a single knockout game in 90 minutes. Now they are ranked 8th in the world. They are the reigning Africa Cup of Nations champions. They came through qualifying with a perfect record. 8 games, 8 wins, 22 goals scored, only 2 conceded. And yet the conversation around this tournament treats them as an interesting footnote rather than a genuine contender. That, in my opinion, is the biggest mistake any football fan can make going into 2026. The most important thing to understand about Morocco in 2026 is that Qatar 2022 was not luck. It was a system. Think about what that squad actually did. They finished first in their group above Croatia and Belgium. In the round of 16, they beat Spain, a former World Cup winner, on penalties. In the quarterfinals, they beat Portugal 1-0. They conceded just 1 goal in open play across the entire knockout stage. 1 goal, in open play, through 5 knockout matches. That is not luck. That is a defensive system that worked against the best attacking sides in the world. The Spain game is the clearest example. Spain had 77% of the ball. They had 14 shots. Morocco had 3. And Morocco won. Not because they were lucky, because Walid Regragui built a defensive block that Spain could not break. The Atlas Lions were disciplined, organized, and ruthless on the counter. Now, the argument you will hear is that Morocco had Regragui, the architect of that run, and he is gone. He resigned in March 2026, and that is a fair concern. I am not dismissing it. But here is what people are missing. His replacement, Mohamed Ouahbi, just won the Under-20 World Cup with Morocco in 2025. He beat Argentina 2-0 in the final. The defensive foundations Regragui built, the organization, the pressing system, the tactical discipline, those do not disappear with one coaching change. 9 players from the 2022 squad are still in this team. The system is still there. The players who lived through those moments are still there. But here is where it gets interesting. The narrative around Morocco in 2026 focuses on what they lost. I think what they gained is being almost completely ignored. The captain is Achraf Hakimi, 95 international caps, Paris Saint-Germain right back, arguably the best attacking fullback in the world at his position. He is the most experienced player in this squad, and he is at the peak of his career. In attack, Brahim Díaz, the Real Madrid playmaker, was by most analysts' assessments the best player at the Africa Cup of Nations. He won the Golden Boot with 5 goals. Morocco won that tournament. Sofyan Amrabat anchors the midfield, the same player who was one of the standout performers in Qatar 2022. And in goal, Yassine Bounou of Al Hilal is one of the most experienced goalkeepers at this entire tournament. Against Brazil in the group stage, consider what Hakimi brings in that specific match. Brazil will attack down their left side. Hakimi is not just a defender, he is a threat in behind. He forces Brazil to think about both sides of the pitch simultaneously. That is a tactical weapon that most teams in Group C simply do not have. The criticism will be, and this is a legitimate one, that Ouahbi is a first-time senior coach. He has never managed at a World Cup. Managing a youth team and managing a senior World Cup squad are 2 completely different challenges. That pressure is real. But my read on this is simple. Ouahbi inherits a squad that already knows how to perform on the biggest stage. These players do not need to be told what a World Cup semi-final feels like. They have been there. And that experience, in my opinion, is worth more than any coaching CV. Now here's the part most analysts are getting completely wrong. Everyone looks at Group C and sees Morocco's path as impossible. Brazil in the opener. I see it as the best possible scenario for a team built exactly the way Morocco are built. Based on Morocco's qualification data and their 2022 record, there is a strong argument that this is a team that performs better as the underdog. They scored 22 goals across qualifying, the highest in their group, but they also conceded only 2. That means they are effective both in open attacking play and in defensive systems when they need to be. Against Haiti and Scotland in the remaining group games, in my opinion, Morocco should be expected to qualify. That is not arrogance. That is the 8th-ranked team in the world against opponents who have not reached this stage before in this era. Look at the bracket beyond the group. If Morocco finish second behind Brazil, which is the most likely scenario, their round of 32 path avoids the top seeds in their part of the draw. The teams Morocco would likely face in the early knockout rounds are not the teams that ended their run in 2022. The counter-argument is straightforward. Brazil are one of the most complete squads at this tournament. A defeat in the opener could affect confidence and momentum for the rest of the group stage. If Morocco lose heavily to Brazil, the psychological impact could change everything. I hear that argument, but I would ask you to remember one thing. In 2022, Morocco drew 0-0 with Croatia in their opener. Croatia had reached the 2018 World Cup final. Nobody panicked. Morocco stayed calm, won their next 2 games, topped the group, and then went on the most remarkable run an African team has ever produced at a World Cup. Calm, organized, built for exactly this kind of pressure. So here is where I land. 3 things are true about Morocco at this World Cup. 1. The 2022 run was not a fluke. It was a system built around defensive discipline and clinical counterattacking football. That system still exists in this squad. 2. The key players who made that run possible are still here. Hakimi, Amrabat, Bounou, Díaz. This is not a rebuilding project. It is the same core, with added experience and an African championship title to their name. 3. The group draw, while difficult on paper, actually suits how Morocco play. Give them a big game against a heavyweight and they will organize, absorb, and hit you when you least expect it. That is not a theory. That is what they have already done at the highest level. My view, and I am stating this as analysis, not certainty, is that Morocco can reach the quarterfinals of this World Cup. A semi-final repeat is not impossible. I am not making that call today, but I am saying this. If you are building your 2026 World Cup bracket right now, and Morocco are not in your last 8, I think you are making a mistake. The most dangerous team at this World Cup is not the one everyone is talking about. It is the one they forgot about. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Morocco can match or go beyond their 2022 run? Or do you think the coaching change makes this squad too unpredictable? Drop your honest prediction in the comments. How far do Morocco go in 2026? I read every single one. One last thing, and I say this at the end of every video. Football moves fast. Squads change. Facts get updated. I research everything in this video as carefully as I can, but if anything here turns out to be inaccurate, outdated, or misleading in any way, I want to know about it. Drop the correction in the comments. I will pin it. I will own it. No deletions, no excuses. That is the only way to do this properly. See you in the next one.